Hello, hello. So happy that you are here. Thank you for talking with me today.
Oh, glad to be here.
So usually I just kind of start with whatever you want to tell us about your series. If you want to give a synopsis of each book, if you want to show us your book, whatever you want to tell us about both your series.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have two series. The first one was the Threadville Mystery Series, which I wrote as Janet Bolin. And that is mystery and mayhem in a village of crafty shops, mostly needlecraft shops. And now I'm writing the Deputy Donut Mystery Series. And the main character is a burnt out 911 operator who owns a donut shop with her father-in-law, who is a retired police chief of the town, Fallingbrook, Wisconsin, where they live. So, and her friends tend to be first responders. She's the widow of a detective. She was widowed very young. Mm-hmm. And so they run this donut shop because both of them, she and her father-in-law, love to cook and make donuts, and that's kind of how they dealt with the grief of the passing of the young man. Unlike most towns, there seem to be a fair number of murders, and in Cozy Mysteries, this is normal.
True.
So the donut shop, which is called Deputy Donut, is a good place to pick up clues and hear rumors and also talk to whatever first responders do happen to come in. But also people come in who are, they might be, the bad guy might come in, or somebody else who knows something about it, or somebody who seems like the bad guy might come in. The shop is named after Emily's cat. I forgot to mention her name's Emily, the woman that owns the shop. And her cat is named Deputy Donut, Dep for short. And Dep does not solve the mystery or talk or, do anything like that. But he can sometimes he can communicate. What am I thinking? She can communicate by puffing up or whatever. And I don't think the reader should really necessarily trust Dep's judgment about who's the good guy and who's the bad guy, because she likes herring, whether it's red herrings or any other color. So the fifth book is coming out on Tuesday, and this is it. Whoa, there. Beyond a reasonable donut.
I love it. And I love the cover of that. It's so cute.
It is cute.
I love the entire series. I knew right after I read the first one, it was going to be a series I really liked. But one of the things I really love is the car.
Oh,
describe the donut car that they use for their business is an old cop car, and they put, instead of the sirens, it's got a spinning donut, and just sounds adorable.
It is fun. I blogged about this one, so this might not be new to people, but we were traveling in Vermont and made a wrong turn, and driving down this country road, we saw a 1950 Ford, and it was a cop car, and we stopped and took a picture. So I don't think that picture's on my website. It should be. But it was just the most amazing thing to come around the corner, and there is the donut car. Well, it doesn't have a donut on top, but I can't blame this actual police department for not putting a donut on top of their car.
Fair enough. Yeah. True.
And the logo on the side got a little photoshopped in my photo.
Yeah. And the series is just so much fun. So much fun. I enjoy, I think Emily's a smart character. I enjoy the setting. I really like the women that come in every day. In the first book, we saw a lot of them because one of them demised.
Kick the bucket.
Yeah. But
that wasn't her plan.
True.
That's this book. Survival of the Fritters.
Yes. And that is another thing. The titles are absolutely amazing.
It's hard. Yeah. I came up with the first three really easily. And then, you kind of run out of donut-y puns. But
that's what I was going to ask. So you, do you have a lot of leeway in your titles and your book covers?
The publisher, my editor approves the titles or not, and he liked Survival of the Fritters. He liked Goodbye Crueler World.
Yeah.
And Jealousy Filled Donuts. And we both liked my title for the fourth one, which is Boston Scream Murder, but I was calling it Boston Scream Donuts. And it turned out Dunkin' Donuts has a seasonal donut called Boston Scream Donuts. So this one, I shouldn't do this. This one became Boston Scream Murder. And then he wasn't too fond of the one I had for this book, for Good Beyond a Reasonable Donut. So I fished around in my brain and came up with Beyond a Reasonable Donut. And then, of course, we couldn't help liking that one.
Yeah, it's adorable. All of them are adorable. Did you always know that you wanted to be a writer?
Yes, from about the time I was 7. And you find out, like, where do books come from? Where do the words in books come from? Well, people write them. Oh, I want to do that. So I did. But
yeah,
it was a long and circuitous. Publication took a few more years than that, a lot more years than that.
Yeah. So do you write under any other names and have any other books, or you have the 2 Cozy series?
Just the 2 Cozy series, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know for a long time, those pen names, man, I didn't know for a long time that those were the same people, that you was also that person, or not written, that you had wrote under that other name. That sounds like you have a split identity. That's not what I mean. I didn't know that you had also wrote under another name.
Yeah, well,
when I put the connection together, it was like, whoa, what? That's the same person? Because a lot of times when that happens, I love another series by them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that person also writes, I got to go check them out. But yes, there's so many people with pen names. So I didn't know. That's interesting. Does that name have any significance to you, or you just kind of?
Oh, when I thought I would write Cozies, I decided to land on Ginger Bolton. I thought that was a good name, but it didn't happen with the first series, so it happened with the second. It just sounded cozy.
It does sound cozy. Yeah. Yeah, it does sound like a cozy name. Yeah. So after talking with a lot of other authors, do you consider yourself a pantser or someone who creates an outline and sticks to it when you write in your writing process?
Okay, I first started out as a pantser. I just, wrote by the seat of my pants, and I had an idea for the beginning of a manuscript, and I knew how it was going to end, and it was going to be a suspense. And I wrote. It took me about 10 years. I was working full time, but it took me about 10 years to be happy with the with the manuscript. So that's kind of a long time. Then when I sold the Threadville mysteries, I sold it on spec, so I hadn't written any of it. And suddenly there's a deadline. And my editor wanted an outline. And I thought, okay, I've never done this, but maybe I need to. And my current editor for Kensington, I don't know if he ever wished he hadn't said that, but he said, oh, I'd like an outline. He said, and I don't mind one that's 25 pages long. Which was good because I had one that was actually a synopsis that was about 25 pages long. So I didn't.
Wow.
I'd already planned it up, just written what was going to be in it. So I didn't have to condense it, which was very nice. And I love that because even though you have to, beat yourself up to write an outline when you'd rather be writing a book. Writing the book is more fun. At least when he approves the outline, I don't have that fright that I think a lot of writers have, or I mean, I have anyway, but of what if he reads the manuscript and hates it and have to start from scratch? So at least I know that the plot is going to fly. But then I make changes.
Sure. I think that I just, when an outline is that long, I'm like, man, you've kind of already written a rough draft in a way. I mean, you got to go in and fill a bunch in, but like, that's a fairly significant outline. Like, I mean, in college, when they told me to do an outline, it was,
A.
Yeah. But I mean, I was in a field where we had to write papers, but not like English. So maybe that was it. Like 25 pages.
Right. These are written in sentence form, narrative form. So if it was a 1AB sort of thing, it wouldn't take 25 pages, but it would also be not very readable.
Hi, Nancy. It's good to see you,
Nancy.
So the Threadville series, where does that one take place?
That takes place in a fictional town on the south shore of Lake Erie, kind of close to between Cleveland and Erie, but in Pennsylvania. It doesn't, the town, there's no town there.
Yeah. And then the deputy takes place in Wisconsin. Are you from either of those places?
I lived in Pennsylvania for a lot of years. I visited Wisconsin. I live in Ontario, so I like to choose northern places where at least the weather and everything, I sort of understand. I absolutely love northern Ontario and northern Wisconsin and northern Michigan, and I love the climates and the rocks and the trees and the lakes and things we have in these places. So I chose somewhere like what I love, and I visited a few times too.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I would love to come to Canada, but I'm a big hockey fan, so there's just, I don't know, I just would love to go to Canada.
Yeah.
Go to a couple of the games there. My husband and I were like, we should go to a game at every stadium. I'm like, do you know what that would entail?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, we would love to. And yeah, I would love to go to Canada. So, the Threadville series, the reason like I said, I didn't know it was the same person. And so that series is finished, correct?
Right.
Okay. And the Deputy Donut, you have your book coming out on Tuesday. Do you know how many more you're going to get, or?
There's one coming out in October called Deck the Donuts.
Oh, I love it.
It's Christmas. It finishes before Christmas, but it's a Christmas season.
Yeah. But that's not necessarily your last book.
I don't know at this point, but we can hope.
We can hope. Yes, absolutely.
I mean, thanks to people like you who buy my books, sales are good. So
absolutely. And do you think that if that series were to be done, or only a couple more, do you think you'd write another cozy series? Do you think you'd switch genres? Do you have any idea? You're just kind of going by.
I like cozies. I like to write cozies. So I would probably stick with cozies.
Yay.
As I said, I started with suspense, but here are my characters in the darkest moments spewing puns at each other.
I love it.
Yeah, that didn't seem quite right. So cozies suit my my voice, or my voice suits Cozies much more. I do have an idea, and I have a draft of something that's a little bit darker. It's not quite as cozy, but it's not much darker.
Yeah. I only read cozies. I read some romance too, but I just read cozies because of the stuff that you said. Like, I can't handle much else. And especially, I was like this before the pandemic, but then especially kind of with the pandemic and just everything going on in the world, I'm like, I just want happy. I just want nice. I just want everybody to be kind. I'm just good with my cozies, and I'll be in my own little world where, other than the murderer or the victim who usually kind of had it coming, everything is peaceful.
Yeah, they do. But as you said in my first, in Survival of the Fritters, she didn't have it coming. So, then you have sympathy for the person trying to solve the murder. If it's a really vicious guy, well, you're glad, but
Yeah. The first one, that was a little different with I love when there's a group of characters like that are like a book club, or in this case, the coffee club, or I don't remember, what do they call themselves?
The nitpickers.
The nitpicker. I knew it had a cute name, the nitpickers, right? So I love like that kind of thing. And I really, really love like older elderly characters in books, especially when they're still kind of like spunky and, sassy and all that jazz. So I really, really enjoy that. So, do you read a lot of cozies?
Yeah. I prefer them, but I'll read almost anything. No, not horror. Yeah. No, I won't read horror, and I won't read the really, graphic murder mysteries.
Yeah, I don't either. I like even little more hard boiled. Like I'm just very much, I don't like anything like that. It's not that I don't like it. It's that I like sleep, and that's my issue.
Yeah. I can read things that I couldn't watch on TV or the movies. You can read it because you kind of tailor what you're reading to your own taste. But if it's on a screen, it's just right there, and you can't sort of change it to suit yourself in your mind.
True. Yeah. Yeah. So, when you read your cozies, are you hard to fool? Is it hard to get past you,
Yes.
the killer? Yeah, I figure.
No, wait. I'm very easy. I'm very easy to fool.
Me too.
I read. I just keep reading. I want to find out what happened, so I don't spend a lot of time figuring it out. And which probably made it. Probably somebody who is hard to fool would have an easier time fooling others. But I'm like, I don't know if that. I think I just gave it away. But
I'm I think because I'm a very, very character driven reader, that I think that's one of the reasons too I like cozies. Like, I like the setting. I really like the characters. And I mean, everybody does, but I mean, like, I'm there more for that than the murder mystery. I enjoy the murder mystery, but really I want to know what's going on in the town, what Emily's up to, what's going on with whoever. I like even the kind of day-to-day details where, such and such is going to the beauty shop and they're gossiping about such and such. And, I don't know. I like all that. So it's not to say I don't try to figure out who the killer is or like the murder mystery, but it's kind of secondary to me.
Yeah, I do that too. I just read along and I think, well, that could be the murderer. Well, that could be the murderer. And so, but at the end, you always say, yep, I guessed it. I also guessed 10 other people, but.
That's kind of the joke I started making was I'm going to suspect everyone. Everyone's a suspect, because then eventually I'm right, because that's the only way I'm right. That's it. That's the only way I ever get it, is if I just think everybody is the killer until they prove otherwise. It works for me.
And that's what you would, yeah. And if you were an actual sleuth, if you were, if this happened in your town, you would suspect everybody except a few people that you know well.
True.
And I'm sure a policeman suspect everybody.
Exactly. I guess I do. I have to be unbiased, and being unbiased means everybody's a suspect until proven otherwise. Yes. Yes.
Guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly. Is there a certain kind of cozies that you like to read theme wise?
Nope. Like them all.
Yeah, I think I do too. I mean, there's ones, it's not even that I prefer, maybe I've just read more of, I really am a big culinary fan. I like the ones that are about books or libraries. Yeah, I like craft ones. So, but I like almost anything. I don't know that there's any like one genre that I'm like, oh, I'm not a big fan of that cozy mystery theme. I like them all. Yeah.
Yeah. It probably has to be a theme that appeals to women, because women are the biggest cozy readers, but not, I've had fan mail from men. So,
yeah.
So one of the slightly darker one that I've been writing takes place in the wilderness, and that's in an island in the Minnesota, so right up by the border of Ontario. And so that one is not a small town, and that there are fishermen at that lodge, and it might be there I'm getting a little too far from the theme perhaps, but it's very funny.
It sounds fun. I don't think there's a lot of that kind of premise in cozies.
Yeah, it's the hotel lodge sort of thing that people have, bed and breakfast, hotel, manor home, whatever.
I like bed and breakfast cozies too.
Yeah,
I like that.
This one you have to fly in or to the place, so it's so you don't stay just for one night.
Oh, cute.
Unless you die there.
Well, true. So I always ask this of everybody, if you were murdered, I always have to knock on wood, because if you were murdered, who would you want to solve your crime? What fictional character?
Oh dear. Yeah, that's a hard one. Could they all? Couldn't they get together?
That would be quite a team, wouldn't it? Just
but yeah, you would probably actually want an actual detective. But amateur, amateur sleuth, why not? Why? Everybody's curious. So if you hear of a murder in your own hometown, like you and I probably would not go out and hunt down clues. Mm-mm. But we would be thinking about who might have done that, and that black pickup truck I saw.
True.
Yeah. I don't know what fictional. I'll think of it in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, I think everybody is curious. I live in a really quiet neighborhood, and, I live in Florida where most people are retired, and I am the minority. And, a lot of them, I have an older neighbor that she doesn't leave much, and she's retired, and she's always like, did you see such? And I'm like, she's always thinking something's going on. And we live in a very quiet, brand new neighborhood that's got a lot of construction, but she's always seeing something. And it's just really funny because I think she's just bored.
Yeah, you could take her a pile of cozies.
Yeah. Truly, that would be amazing. So I have enough to spread around. I probably should. So, so you said you kind of read everything besides Cozies too. I mean, not the horror and all those, but would you ever consider writing outside? I know you said you want to stick with Cozies, but is there any other genres you would consider writing in?
Oh, suspense. Yeah. But suspense of the type that Mary Stewart wrote.
Okay.
So
wait, not Mariah Stewart.
No, she's a singer. Mary Stewart wrote Airs Above the Ground. Like, she wrote in the 50s. She's a Scottish author. And The Ivy Tree. And she went in for a lot of description, very detailed description of flora and fauna and everything. And she really put you in the scene. And, always had me, like, I can reread her books because you just can't. First, you can't stop turning the pages. You have to read really quickly. Then the next time you read them, you want to read some of that beautiful description. Not everyone loves description, but I do. So I would try to write like her, but I don't measure up. And today's reader probably doesn't even want to read that much description.
I don't know. I mean, you never know what, and things come in and out of, popularity and stuff. And sometimes I'm surprised what's not picked up and what is, like, even in series, like the Cozy series, a lot of authors will well, we're not continuing on because there wasn't enough demand for it. And I'm like, huh? I'm like pre-ordering these books. What are people, it's really interesting what's, popular and what's not at the time, or, what people are into or something like that. But I think it also comes back and around and all of those things. Are any of your characters in any of your books based upon real people?
Oh, probably. But there's nobody. There are probably more bits and pieces of this person and a bit of this person, a bit of that person, and maybe somebody's way of talking. But there's nobody that's actually, like, I had 4 old maid aunts growing up, so they probably were quite an influence on my nitpickers, and then the 3 weird mothers in the Threadville mysteries. But they aren't really like my aunts, any of those people. It was just that, and they were a lot older than my father was the youngest, and they were a lot older than he was. So some of them were actually more a grandparent age. And I mean, they were funny. That was without meaning to be funny a lot of the time. But I think that that type of humor comes, as part of what I write. Trying to think if there's anybody else. There are probably some victims and villains. I will draw from, if somebody annoys me, then they might end up. Don't annoy me, you'll end up in my book. I think there's a bumper sticker like that.
I have seen a shirt or something like that. Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, hello, Donna. I see there's a Donna has joined us.
Hi, Donna. Yeah, no, that's really funny. And I really have a goal one day to be a victim in somebody's story.
You're kidding.
No, I would love that.
A victim?
A victim, yeah. I don't want to be murdered in real life, but in a book, yeah, that'd be amazing. Absolutely.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind.
I'm serious. If you ever off me, you would make my day. Please let me know, because, oh my gosh.
You want people to use your real name?
Sure. Yeah. I think it would be great. And if
that would give me the creeps doing that.
Oh no. Yeah. You can name me Stephanie instead of Tiffany, and it would be just enough. I mean, my killer would be found, brought to justice, the whole bit, you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, that would be reassuring. A bit of a relief, but still. I don't know if you're going to get any takers on that one.
Oh, that's what I decided to start with that one. Maybe the Deputy Donut series?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Maybe she decided to start with that one like she's going to kill me off. Donna, are you writing me off in a story? That would be amazing. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Somebody, there was an author that said they auctioned that at like a charity thing.
Yeah.
That they would like write the winner of the auction into a book as the I think it was maybe the killer or victim. I don't remember which.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's probably they've auctioned off everything. Like you can auction off a name of a pet.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a cool way to raise money.
Yeah, I mean for charity, obviously not. For,
yeah. No, that's what for charity.
No, it's an idea.
Yeah, you could make a Patreon page and like, hey, the highest bidder can be my next,
Highest bidder writes the first sentence. Highest bidder writes the second sentence. A really high bidder gets to write a chapter.
Yeah. See?
Pretty soon you're
onto something.
Yeah, we are. It's probably awful, but we're onto something.
That's true. It might not be the best idea, but
well, it's one way to get off.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you participate in any like of the conferences or anything like that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I used to go to Malice every year.
Yeah.
And Kensington has little mini conferences that's when before the pandemic, they would say they have a conference here or there. And so we got to go to Cambridge, Massachusetts. We got to go to Columbus, Ohio, Oak Park, Illinois. So, you kind of say, okay, it gives you an idea of where to go for a mini vacation. So So Oak Park, Illinois is where Frank Lloyd Wright, the museum is, and there were a lot of buildings there. So there you go. There's an extra day spent there, extra day or two. Columbus, Ohio is interesting. Cambridge, Massachusetts, my sister and brother live near there. So, I mean, that was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And we were there on my sister and my sister-in-law's birthday, and my sister-in-law won the grand prize. So it was just amazing. So
wow.
And then now we're not going to these places, but we were at Scrawl Books on last Saturday, I think it was. I've lost it. And so I felt like I went to Virginia. I went to Florida one day.
Yay!
Last fall, but virtually.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I'm pretending I went.
Exactly.
The commute is much shorter. So those are fun conferences. I've been to BoucherCon when it was in Toronto, so I didn't have to travel far. But I think we'll be traveling again soon.
I hope so. I really, really hope so. Yeah. So I think so. I do. I have hope that things are on the upturn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I will probably continue going to them. And meanwhile, we have, with these new technologies, with all the Zooming and this StreamYard, and I'm not sure what all, we can get around to more bookstores and podcasts and things than we could before. So
Yeah.
that has certain advantages too.
It does. It really does have certain advantages because there's a couple of conferences I'm going to as a guest coming up that there's no way I could travel to them. You know, not to say no way, but I mean, pretty much no way, you know, and just the time off and all that. I don't have to worry about that. It's just very, very convenient to have it virtual. I love it.
Yes. Gives writers more time for writing. Oh, and I think when I'm in the car or a plane or whatever, I'll think about a plot. Well, that never happens. Well, sometimes, but
yeah.
I mostly have to sit at my computer to actually work out the details of a plot. Ideas will come to me, but then I need to get them down onto paper.
Yeah. Do you have notepads everywhere or napkins and thoughts and stuff? I think that I would, as a writer, as soon as I thought of something, I'd be writing on the first thing I found. I just have all over the place.
Oh, I think I'll remember it. But one time, which one was it? Oh, yeah. I got up in the middle of the night because I thought of this title. Oops, Threaded for Trouble. And I got up in the middle of the night and I wrote that down. But that's about the only time I did that.
Yeah. Do you have a writing schedule you stick to?
Not really, but I don't have a deadline right now. I turned in my last book. But usually I don't know what to do with myself if I'm not writing. So I get to the computer with my cup of coffee first thing in the morning and then write all day, except for when I'm checking email, which is probably half the day.
Wow.
And I don't, especially in the pandemic, I don't take weekends off. I mean, it's just every day is, because I love it. So it really,
Well, that's exciting to us because we love reading it. So.
But I'm really slow. I rewrite and I rewrite and I rewrite. So, so the thing that, when I was 7 and said, people write books, I'd like to do that. That stuck.
I don't know if you're as slow as if you have a book coming out on Tuesday and then you have another book coming out in what, August?
October. Yeah. October.
I mean, that's not slow.
Yeah. No, it's not slow, but some Cozies authors have 3 series a year.
Yeah. They're just, I don't think they sleep though.
No, I don't know how they do it. And they probably don't have to revise as much as I do. I somehow, my first draft is never very good. So I think, every verb is said or nodded.
Do you belong to like Sisters in Crime or like organizations like that where you?
Yes, Sisters in Crime. And I joined that way back when, about 1998, I think.
Oh, wow.
Because I wanted to join the Guppies group, which is the Great Unpublished, because it seemed that people in that group were figuring out how to get book contracts. And that is how I met the people that, eventually helped me get a book contract. So I highly recommend the Guppies group, the Guppies chapter of Sisters in Crime for anybody who's starting out writing, mystery crime writing. I don't belong to it anymore, but I used to. So Sisters in Crime is wonderful. I belonged to Mystery Writers of America when I lived in New York and could go to their meetings, but now I don't belong to it anymore. And I belong to Crime Writers of Canada.
Okay. So
there are a lot of crime writers in Canada. I
really,
think. I sit up here in the cold and plot things.
well, or they just don't want to leave their house, so they gotta find something to do. So they're
Yeah.
like, yeah,
You
well,
can't leave your house. There are murderers out there, you know?
and it's cold.
Well, part of the time, yeah. But I live farther south than about about half the states. I think it's like half the states have parts that are farther north than where I live. You can't get much farther south in Canada than where I live. So I actually live in a tobacco farming area, which surprised me.
I wouldn't have guessed that. Is tobacco farming big in Canada?
In this part of Ontario.
Huh. I don't know.
It's
I don't know
sandy,
anything about tobacco, so
it's hot and sandy here. So
okay. And I guess that's good tobacco growing.
yeah, nothing else will grow in the sand. Well, that's not true, but
well, no, I did not know that. That's interesting.
It's not cigarette tobacco. I think it's cigar tobacco or pipe tobacco or something.
Huh.
The things you learn when you retire and move to a new place.
Yeah. So you retired to Canada.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, we lived here before, but we went to New York for a while. And
okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I always think it's, people write about, even like you said, even though your series are in the United States, they're both in like very northern places.
Yeah.
Because that's probably fairly close to kind of not temperature, but very close to that. You're writing what you know, basically.
Yeah. For climate. But I've lived in Michigan, New York, and Pennsylvania. So.
You've been to Michigan too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I think it makes sense when people write what they know, because I think you can tell that, because even though you can do as much research, you can do a ton of research. I just feel like you can feel it when somebody's like from there or whatever, because they know the ins and outs.
Yeah, I would set something in Massachusetts because I've gone there a lot too. So, but this is sort of the Northeast.
Yeah, I'd love a series from Massachusetts. There's not many. I don't know that there's any that I can think of.
Yeah, it's Barbara Ross.
And that's that's Maine.
Oh, right.
I'm just saying, because there's quite a few that are Maine. I love the series that take place in Maine, I'm not saying there's not any in Massachusetts. There's not any that I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh yeah, Sheila Connolly's first, her apple orchard mystery was set in Massachusetts, I think.
Oh, okay. I've read a few of those. I don't know how and like I said, yeah. So, and it's just interesting because there's a lot of beautiful places that I feel like don't have as many cozies in that neck of the woods. It surprises me. Well, even like Colorado, there's only a few. I mean, there's a couple. There's like the Goldie Bear series by Diane Mott Davidson's in Colorado, and a couple of the newer series, but just not as many as you would think. And I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But there does need to be another Massachusetts series. So,
Okay. Yeah. When I was coming up with Deputy Donut, I was trying Massachusetts, New York. I was trying, and it just turned out that Deputy Donut was right after I visited Wisconsin. So, I like this. There's waterfalls and all kinds of fun stuff here.
Yeah. So when are you a big baker when you came up with the idea for Deputy Donut?
Oh no, I'm not very good in the kitchen.
No?
So no, I came up with the idea because of a bakery in Michigan that was going out of business, and the cops in the in the town, Clare, Michigan, decided to buy the bakery and run it themselves. And it's called Cops and Donuts. And, now it's franchised. They've got some other, I forget where, Ludington, whatever it's called. They've got some other branches, but so of course I had to go there on the way to Wisconsin once. And their donuts are delicious. And they've got a bakery, and next door is a shop that sells T-shirts and mugs and souvenirs. It's just wonderful. So I thought, well, that would be interesting. Donut. I mean, cops, my policeman friends will complain because they think that I'm saying that cops do nothing but eat donuts, but of course I'm not saying that. My cops in my books often say that's not all we do. But,
right.
But I just thought because of that connection, then it would be a great place to set for somebody to hunt for clues.
Yeah, totally. Anything like that, like specialty shop kind of thing like that, because, people are going to come in, especially for donuts and coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be the hub of the town.
And of course, I had to have a deep fryer. So I had to get that. And that's fun. I mean, it's a lot of oil.
Yeah.
A lot of boiling oil.
Have you made donuts in the deep fryer?
Oh yeah. Oh, donuts and French fries and fried chicken and I've even done Lake Erie perch.
Okay.
But it's amazing having those donuts come out like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
I thought I needed an espresso machine, but they're too expensive. I said I really love drip coffee the way I make it, so I'm happy with my coffee.
Oh my gosh, I love coffee of any kind.
Yes.
Yeah. My husband just started getting like beans from like a specialty store and like getting different flavors of them and then grinding it and making it. And oh my gosh, there is some good coffee out there.
There are. Yes. I grind mine freshly every morning. So, yeah.
Yeah. He's grinded for a while, but he kind of, like I said, started trying to find different brands at specialty places. And man, they're just wow. I will drink any coffee though, to be honest with you. Even bad coffee, I'll still drink it.
Well, yeah.
And I don't want to, but I will.
Uh-huh.
I worked in, they always say that police stations have the worst coffee. But I worked, for a long time, I worked at doing counseling at a rehab, but part of my job too was I would do assessments at the juvenile detention home. They make the worst coffee. But they're still probation officers. So maybe it's a law enforcement thing, but I'm telling you, and I would still drink it. And they were like, why are you drinking this? It's terrible. I'm like, because it's coffee.
Yeah, you have to have your fix, but
absolutely.
Yeah, we've been making pretty good coffee from just what we get some good beans at our local grocery store with our curbside pickup.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm happy with what we've been getting. We switched, but from pre-pandemic, we switched brands of coffee, but it's good. But I would like to go. There's a place that's not too far away where you can get a single origin coffee that these ladies import from their home country, Nicaragua, and they have several different blends and roasts. And I haven't driven there yet, and I think, well, I'll order it and have it sent. And delivery in Canada it costs as much as a pound of coffee. The delivery is as much as the coffee. So I'm like,
Wow.
I'll just keep doing the curbside pickup.
Yeah, there's another thing that I hope never goes away. Curbside pickup. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah. That saves me so much money because my husband does the grocery shopping and I'll send him in with a list and then it's always about $40 to $50 over that because he's also picked up 3 packages of Oreos and this and this and this and this and curbside he doesn't go in. So it's been amazing.
Yeah. And you don't forget things like that. If I go up and down the aisles, I get tired of it, or I just do the outside of the store just to get the fresh food and it takes forever, because while I'm in the left side of the store, I remember I wanted something in the right side of the store and I have to go back. So, I love curbside pickup.
Well, and I think like you said, like forgetting, it also makes it nice because I order every day or every week at the same day on the same time almost. So we pick up our order every single Friday. And it's usually at the same time. And so as soon as I think of something, if I think of it on a Monday at 6 p.m., I'll go in and add it to my cart so that I'm not just on Thursday night trying to click through and think about all the things I need. So
that's what we do too. Only our pickup is Mondays.
Yeah. So it's been very, very nice. Very, very nice. So your 8th book comes out in October. It's a Christmas book.
Oh, that's actually my 11th book. But it's this 6th Deputy Donut.
6th Deputy Donut. Do you have the cover yet?
Yeah, I don't have it down here with me, but it is on my website, gingerbolton.com. And it is darling.
Okay. I have your website linked into the description where people can go and click on it from here and go to your website. Do you belong to what is the website that does all the recipes?
Mystery Lover's Kitchen?
Yes.
No, I'm not on that.
Okay.
Oh, I could not. I don't know how they do that. Like they're coming up with, you're not just coming up with a recipe, you're photographing it and writing down all the steps. And I have blogged for them.
I knew you had. So
that, it's you think, oh, there, I'm done. And I forgot to take a picture of that step.
I knew you would blog for them because I get the emails, of all this stuff. If you're not a cook, like you said, you're not very good in the kitchen. So I don't know that somebody I don't know that you probably want to do that, but
yeah, it was, it's so many steps and taking pictures and
yeah.
But I love that website.
I do too.
That blog.
I do too. And I think it's fun that they always, a lot of times will put different story with it or whatever the case is. So I was going to say, I knew you blogged on it before because I've seen something. And then, so you have your website. Do you have a Facebook page or anything like that
Yeah, I've got a Ginger Bolton. It's Ginger Bolton author or something like that.
Okay, because I'll add that. I don't have Facebook, so a lot of times, unless somebody tells me, I don't have that. I don't have that. I've been banned from Facebook. No idea why. I'm actually dead serious. And the craziest part is, I haven't had an account in probably, 20 years. And so my brother-in-law made me a new account when I started the book stuff. And I used just my married name because my name is hyphenated. And I've been married 15 years. So this would have been even before I was, married. They wouldn't have had that name. So he made it just under my married name. It worked for 2 weeks and it locked me out and said that. And I'm like, what did these people think I did? Considering the leadership that we have had in this country for a while, that I don't know. What I'm saying is, what do they think I did? There's people on there doing, yeah. So
I don't know, beach bum. That's pretty iffy.
I'm awful suspicious. Yeah. So I don't know. So yeah. So unless somebody tells me, so I'll definitely add your Facebook page on there. Do you do events on there or anything like that you want me to put up or anything?
Well, right now, Krista Davis and I have a countdown giveaway going on. So because she has the Diva Serves Forbidden Fruit coming out on Tuesday also.
Oh my gosh, I love that series.
I love everything she writes.
Yeah. I've not read the Paws and Claws.
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
But I love the Diva series. And then she's got a third series, right?
Yeah, the coloring book series.
The coloring book series. We've talked. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I will definitely add the Facebook. And then if they go to the Facebook, they can see the thing that you were just talking about. The
giveaway.
The giveaway.
I should have it on my website, but I don't think I do.
Well, as long as people can find it somewhere,
Yeah.
This means they go to somewhere else to find you.
Yeah, my Facebook page, there's that giveaway going on, and there's also the virtual book tour, the Great Escapes virtual book tour, and that giveaway has the first 4 books in the Deputy Donut series.
Oh wow, that's a great giveaway
as a prize. And Krista and I are giving away our new books, plus I'm giving a locket, because there's a locket in my new book, and she's giving away a coin necklace because there's a gold coin in her neck. There are various things. One winner takes all.
So for somebody who does not have Facebook, this gal, can you get in on the giveaway somewhere else?
Oh, sure. Go to my Twitter page.
Okay. It's on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I tweeted about it this morning, so
if
Twitter, the tweets just come and go. So
that's what I was going to say. That's my thing about Twitter, is that it's not just that they come and go. It's that sometimes there's no way I see everybody's. The amount of people I have on there, there's no way I see everybody's.
No.
And so half the time you don't see that stuff. But I'm going to go register because that's an awesome prize.
Yeah, and it's with Twitter, I sort of feel like I don't want to do it 10 times a day. I don't want to bombard people with the same tweets. And yeah. So I've got 2 giveaways. Part of 2 giveaways right now is in celebration of this new book coming out on Tuesday. This new book, I should say the name again.
Yes.
Beyond a Reasonable Donut.
Beyond a Reasonable Donut. I love that name. Survival of the Fritters is my absolute favorite. The names of cozies are just so wonderful, and some people do them so well. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The puns are just amazing.
Yeah, Maya Corrigan with Crypt Suzette is one of my favorites.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The Sarah Fox, who does the Pancake House.
Oh yeah, she has some titles too.
See, I really like the ones that are like plays on something else. So
she has A Wrinkle in Time.
Yeah. And the Crepe Expectations, they're all based on either old books or old movies, and they're just fabulous. The punnier the better. I just like them all.
In a way, it's too bad that the punning started in the titles, because you sort of feel you have to continue. But
true. But I love a good pun. So, I said now I'm working with 6 to 11-year-olds. So I tell them Laffy Taffy jokes every day. And even the 6-year-olds look at me and they're like, and I'm like, it's funny.
They can tell.
Yeah. I'm like, they don't always think so, but they're funny.
They're trying to get a pun that fits with your hook, with your theme of your book, that also hints at some kind of crime.
Right. Right.
We need people like you to just sit there and come up with titles for us.
Would that be an amazing job? What do you do? I write puns. Yeah, I could totally do that too.
There is a pun dictionary.
Really?
Yeah. It might even be pundictionary.com. I don't remember, but
You know, I feel like this has been a brainstorming session between, you know, me thinking about a new career and punning titles and, you know,
and you
selling, auctioning off death. We're on to something here. Not necessarily onto something good, but
no.
No.
Yeah, I don't think I think you and I could be co-conspirators in the worst kind of way.
True. You know, before I let you go, you just made me think of something that I didn't ask you. If the FBI or your cop friends walked into your house and searched your computer, do they think you're a serial killer?
Oh, I'm afraid so. The things that writers search.
Yeah.
But I mean, I write to, I have a group of writers that we a Yahoo group or whatever it is now. We talk to each other all the time, and we keep putting in our emails. If you're reading this, we're not serious. We are actually writers.
In case anybody's reading it. Oh my God, that's hilarious. That's really, really funny. Yeah.
The things that we, how do you poison somebody with this and with that? Oh, it's very strange things that mystery writers talk about.
I went to a conference, watched a conference. It was at a library a few months ago, and Lucy Burdett and a couple other cozy mystery authors were there. But I remember Lucy Burdett said they were all women that had been married for a long period of time. And they said, well, that's because mystery writers, they just, when they get mad at their spouse or whoever, they can just go, into a book and knock them off. And then there you go. You feel better. And I'm like, really? Is that? That's one way to keep it going.
Plus, mystery writers are not talking because we're sitting there typing away. So, we're good listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ginger, it was so fun talking with you. And I always say to people, if you would like to come back right before your next book comes out, I would love to have you again.
Okay, we can conspire in other ways.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It's great talking to you.
And I'm so excited to read your next, the Beyond a Reasonable Donut.
Oh, good.
Especially because the cover is super exciting.
It's super cute.
So exciting. So, well, thank you very, very much. And thank everybody for watching. Have a great day. Thank you, Ginger.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Let me see.